What is the origin of the Anunnaki? The answer to this question can be found in the book Forgotten Genesis, written by Radu Chinnamar. From this book we learn true information, and not personal opinions about this extraterrestrial civilization, because Radu Chinnamar has seen holographic images from mankind's past, through a device belonging to the civilization of the underground city of Apelos. The inhabitants of the underground city of Apelos are spiritually and technologically more evolved than the population on the planet's surface. I will quote the exact passages from the book Forgotten Genesis that speak of the civilization of the Anunnaki or aliens of the Sirius system. Here is what the book says about the Anunnaki. Watching very carefully all that has been presented to me in the holographic images of mankind's past, I can say with all conviction that Earth has been and is blessed with special protection and great care from advanced alien civilizations in our galaxy. Most people consider the state and fraternal attitude of our wonderful friends in the cosmos to be science fiction, and the holographic network of alien connections in the galaxy, which has been shown to me, is actually the product of a mind full of fantasy and wild imagination. There is, however, a category of human beings sincerely interested in these subjects, and who want to know the truth. Unfortunately and sometimes unintentionally, it is hidden from them or misrepresented to them. A good example of this is the perception of the Anunnaki race of alien beings. This name has triggered many bizarre ideas, but mostly erroneous beliefs, which are based both on false or incomplete information and on a certain superficiality in dealing with the subject. Many books have already been written, in which the Anunnaki are blamed for all the evils of the earth, but most often they are associated with extraterrestrial beings with reptilian traits. The fundamental error, which is based on wrong information and conclusions, is to link evil reptilian beings with the Sirian beings known as Anunnaki. This is all the more strange, because it is the Sirians who initiated and sustained, in direct collaboration with the plans of the subtle celestial entities governing the galaxy, the process of the birth and evolution of the human being on Earth. Such a reversal of values has been encountered in other times and circumstances, but in this case it is astonishing the obstinacy of some authors, who only imagine they know the truth, but in reality they are in the gravest error. The pressure on this subject is very high, because by repetition it has been targeted in very negative parameters, which makes it all the more difficult to return to true knowledge and real values, which have been lost. I will however specify some of these elements, on the one hand, based on what I could see as images from prehistoric times to those of modern history, and on the other hand, from the core explanations that I have received from the man from the city of Apelos, when I expressed certain perplexities. As I said, the Sirians are at the basis of the birth and formation of human civilization, and they are also at the basis of human DNA, supporting its evolution for ages and helping humanity in the key points of its development both from a spiritual point of view, as well as material. I myself have seen many aspects of Earth and human history, and some of the more important ones I have described in this book. In some cases, when necessary, Sirians have influenced the very course of history, so that the evolution of the human being can take place in the best possible conditions. The man from Apelos specified to me at one point. From their original, basic branch, which is in the Sirius system, secondary branches have appeared over time in different areas of the galaxy, but the Sirians in the Sirius system are called Anunnaki, which means those who come from the divine light. Segregation of populations and migration to other planets. At one point in my investigation through time, the confusion of what I knew about the Anunnaki, with what I was seeing in the holographic images, had become so great that I had to interrupt their flow for a moment, to seek some explanation from the man from Apelos, who had been assisting me until then silently and motionlessly, slightly behind me. I asked him, if possible, to give me some details about the Anunnaki, so as to clarify the dilemma which still applies to most people today. The origin of this civilization is in the Sirius system of planets, he told me. They are the original Sirian race, the oldest, the basic branch from which other branches migrated to other parts of the galaxy. He then told me that in Sirian language, when you give a name to someone, you first put the root, the basic name, and then you add to that root something that defines a certain trait, a characteristic of that being or group of beings. Thus, if some of the original Anunnaki migrated at some point to a planet in another part of the galaxy, then they are still called Anunnaki, as a whole, but then they have another name, which distinguishes them from the original Sirians. This is one of the aspects that has misled many authors, giving rise to controversial opinions. Many other secondary civilizations have developed from the original Sirian civilization, which have relocated over time to other planets and star systems in the galaxy. However, most of them settled around the constellation Big Dog, in the constellation Orion and especially in the Orion Belt star systems. The mistake, which has been perpetuated among contemporary authors, has been to consider one or more of these secondary civilizations, spread throughout the galaxy, as the original Sirian civilization in the Sirius system. A common way, which is used by the vast majority of advanced alien civilizations, is to send to a suitable planet that part of the members of their civilization, who have not evolved as fast as the rest of the population. They are relocated to another planet that better corresponds to their vibrational frequency, where they will evolve at their own pace. Those who remain on their home planet can thus continue their evolution at an accelerated rate, unhindered by those who have been relocated. An example is the Anunnaki, who have done this in successive phases, relocating entire segments of their original planet's population in the Sirius system, to other star systems. Such migrations to other planets follow the cosmic law of vibrational frequency affinity, for no being can remain in an existential reality, unless it corresponds to that local frequency. An adjustment of the situation is then sought, and the most natural solution is this kind of redistribution of vibrational frequencies, which corresponds roughly to the wise saying, "The right man in the right place." Sirians know how to pour out their wonderful love, but at the same time, when needed, they know how to react very firmly in fights or other terrible cosmic conflicts, only they do all this on a different level of understanding than the perceived one by most human beings. With them, the presence of spirituality and implicitly a high moral attitude is strongly felt. That is precisely why they are still known by many civilizations in the galaxy, as those who come from the spirit. Wherever they pass, they emanate purity, the force of righteous action, as well as high knowledge in various forms. Analogously speaking, we can think of some very spiritually evolved monks, who are dignified, but at the same time they are also humble and full of wisdom. They do not attack, but if they are attacked, they defend themselves with great efficiency and always win. We also learn some interesting things about the Anunnaki, from the book The Etheric Crystal written by the same author.